Hey, Inspired Tribe, my fellow freedom lovers, and John Nolan here. This is the last resort. All technical equipment has been failing today. Internet's been failing today. Nothing's been working. And I kind of see it as, sometimes you see it as a sign, don't do something. And sometimes you see it as all the obstacles that are being thrown in the way so you don't do something that needs to be done. So I felt strongly that the latter is the case. I have to say this. So this is it. Friends, we're seeing yet another huge theater and another huge show unfolding in front of our eyes. And when I say that, I never mean to say it with disrespect to the real suffering or to minimize that. I know it's always involved, because these entities, as much as they play us, they don't care if they hurt us in the process or kill us. They have no conscience. They have no ability for a conscience, no capability. But really, the more important thing is, and there are great people, geopolitically speaking, and historically, biblically, religiously speaking, that will give you a much greater analysis on the history of this conflict, on what is happening there, why this can be inflicted, and why the people can be manipulated. What I'm talking about is something that is universal and affects us all, and that is the human spirit. Now, I have to say that the way I always saw it, or for a very long time, and it's, other people call it a simulation, yet other people call it the Matrix. I always felt that there was a grid that was superimposed in our reality, an electromagnetic grid, and that grid is manipulating, of course, our perception and how and what we see all around us and how we see ourselves mainly. So I believe that this grid has been very strong and is now having troubles, simply because there is a number that is it's unknown to me how big that number is, but there is, I would say, probably in the tens of millions or hundreds of millions of people in the world that are real, having a real human spirit. They are actual human beings with a real spirit, versus the majority, which I believe are NPCs, non-player characters, backdrop people, biorobots, if you will, that are programmed into this reality. They function at a very high level. They have families, they have lives, but they have not access to a real human spirit. I don't believe them to be real in the sense that we perceive ourselves to be real. Now, I'll say this again without any hatred, any anger, or especially not with any idea that people should do anything against these NPCs. That's not what I mean. What I mean is they simply don't have the capability to awaken in the way you do, because they don't have the spirit to awaken to. So they will follow the program, or what they're programmed to do. And everything that is playing out on the world stage right now is for our detriment or our benefit, depending on what we choose. It's not for them. They will follow the program. That's clear. They've shown that over and over again, that they're just there to follow the program and influence us. Because they're the masses, they will influence those who actually do have a real human spirit, if we allow that to happen. So the biggest thing for us is to focus on that which we can focus, and focus our attention on that which we can do, versus all the theaters across the world which we can't do much about in a physical way. So that means that I truly believe that if we focus on this inner development, on this real human spirit, on who we really are and why we're really here, and how we connect with the divine spark, the creator, then if we do that, we will eventually elevate our collective consciousness above this matrix, and it will not be able to manipulate us any longer, because it cannot function in that sphere, in that frequency, in that vibrational realm. Now, this sounds all very, very theoretical and out there, and I understand this might trigger people, but people have been asking me and asking us, how do I deal with the NPCs, the backdrop people in my family? Some people say they're married to backdrop people, and they didn't know until they knew, until they woke up. And the reality of this is that you have to tune in with your Creator, connect with your spirit, and then make a choice that has to be for the highest good of all. And we posted just today that freedom is to say yes when you mean yes and no when you mean no. And I want to really repeat that. Freedom is to say yes when you mean yes and no when you mean no, and how powerful that really is and what that really means. So what I expect is that the theaters are going to increase. We're going to be overwhelmed. We're going to be completely pulled into with our attention if we do not stay very careful. And I would encourage you to only get involved where you must get involved. If it does affect you, your family directly, get involved. Do what you need to do. If you need to protect yourself, of course, do that. But other than that, you cannot get involved in a theater in Israel if you are in, in Italy, or if you are in America. And what I mean by that, it's not that you cannot spiritually get involved and send love into the field and be love and be peace and be harmony, but physically there's nothing you can do. So really focus on that which you can do, and you will have a great positive influence on the other stuff as well. The increase is happening so we get distracted from our own divine spark within us. Now, I'm sounding like a broken record, and a lot of you are going to get triggered with the NPC stuff and the backdrop people, and you can say, how dare you dehumanize people? See, I would love to see the divine spark in every human being, and most of my life I tried to do that. I really dedicated myself to seeing divinity in every piece of creation, but some pieces of creation are not created by the Creator. They are copies, and so these humans that are not real, they are copies, but they can't copy a spirit. They can hijack a spirit, they can manipulate a spirit into following them, but they can't copy a spirit. It's not within their realm of power. And so this is not a judgment call, this is not a finger pointing, it's just truth the way I see it, and reality the way I see it. And I owe it to you to be honest and truthful to the best of my abilities. That's what I owe to each and every one of you watching. I am not a guru, I'm not the answer giver, I'm not an oracle. What I'm saying is that if we remain at a at a consciousness level that is higher up, and that continually spirals upward, then we will see solutions that we cannot yet imagine. Because that which we can create from a higher level of consciousness, we cannot even envision from a lower level of consciousness. So we simply have to rise through prayer, meditation, honesty, authenticity, and truthfulness. And most of all, with a level of unconditional love for ourselves, for our Creator, and for our fellow real human beings. And accept that the NPCs, the backdrop people, will follow the program no matter what. There's nothing you can do about it. Now, this is how we break this program, break through it, break up the matrix, rise above it, make it obsolete, whatever you want to call it. It is through consciousness. It was always consciousness. It will always be consciousness. The battle is not in the physical. There might be times when you need to pick up the proverbial or even a physical weapon, but that's not where the fight will be won. That's not where it comes from. It's always been in the spiritual realm. So I encourage you to walk with this for as long as you need to. Do your own prayer, meditation, introspection. Go within, connect with your Creator, and receive and listen to your answers. I'm sending much love to you all. Many blessings. We appreciate you so much, and we'll be back with you again very, very soon.